The 31-year-old Kenosha police officer in the shooting of Jacob Blake back on August 23rd. The officer had been on administrative leave pending an investigation from the Wisconsin Department of Justice. Blake was shot 7 times in the back. He is paralyzed gravely, and his report yesterday said that Blake was armed with a knife. However, his family has said that is not true, and that has been mischaracterized. You may recall when this happened, NBA players walked out of the bubble. The WNBA walked out. Baseball walked out. There was protests everywhere, led by LeBron James. On the news that no charges will be filed. Here's LeBron James upon hearing that.
It's a blow to our community once again, and we've been here. We've been here before. It sucks. We feel sorry for his family and for that community itself, and we want better. We want better, and hopefully we can get that.
And LeBron speaking there, I will mention, Key, there still is a federal civil rights investigation that is going on as well. So the U.S. government is taking a look at the case. But right now on the state level, no charges filed.
It's wild is what I can say. You hear so many different things, and whether he had a knife or whether he didn't have a knife or he said he had one, and he said he didn't have one. The family said that's not true. You hear all these different things, so you don't really know what the truth is. The only thing I can go off of is what I saw with my eyes, right? And the only thing I saw with my eyes is a guy coming around the front of a car trying to get toward the front of his car, and the next thing you know, he's being shot and gunned down. That's the only thing I can see. So many incidents like this has happened over time that in general communities, us in general as black, Latinos, black and brown, even to a degree whites, we just want it to stop, man. That's all we asking for. Is it like really hard to understand where we're coming from? I mean, is it that difficult? Is it really that difficult to just see what we're saying? And I guess people, some people don't want to hear it. They rather not hear it. They want it to go away. They want it to disappear. They want to put the blanket over their eyes and hope that it goes away, but it's not going to go away. And we continue to keep seeing this, and we continue to keep wrestling with it every single time these things come up. And it's about time for it to just stop. Like, serious, like it's tiring, man, to continue to just keep talking about this over and over and over. And the only reason why we keep talking about it is because it keeps happening. It keeps happening. When things keep happening, you got to talk about it.
Jay?
It is tiring, Key. And we'll continue to talk about it because we are both African-American men who, on our text thread last night, if we didn't play sports, we're no different. We weren't on TV. We ain't no different. Both of us got pulled over multiple times. It not only continues to destroy the trust between the community and police officers, but it further erodes the faith that you want to have in the Justice Department. That's the part that's painful about it, is there's actual 7 times in the back. 7 times, man. Got shot 7 times. Reports about him disclosing that there was a knife that was found. Regardless, for a knife, or if you're coming at somebody, police should be properly trained to handle somebody in that situation, and it shouldn't be 7 times. And I don't want to hear people try to use reports about, hey, well, he had these kind of charges against him, and that doesn't warrant somebody taking your life or paralyzing you for life, getting shot 7 times. It just, LeBron speaking about it. I know we had the situation that happened in the bubble with the Milwaukee Bucks and them stepping up that led to essentially postponement of games for a couple of days, MLB players speaking up about it. And it just feels like all that was done to have an outcome that doesn't warrant justice. And we will continue to use our platform to continue to talk about it because it's important. We need to continue to bring awareness to it.
No question about it. And you mentioned the time, how many times he was shot in the back, 7 times. I mean, a knife is not a gun. And I certainly don't think that based on the footage that my eyes saw, it looked like that he was getting ready to attack the police officers with his back turned. That's just what I saw with my eyes. And so much like you said, Zubin, there's still some federal investigations that's going on, and maybe they'll get it right and figure out what to do.
We should also mention, just again, for the district attorney, Mike Gravely. He essentially said there was 40 hours of investigation, 200 reports that were filed, 1,500 pages of documents. So they are putting forth their due diligence, putting forth all of those numbers on how extensively they investigated before making this decision. Let's hear from Wesley Matthews. He now plays for the Lakers, but last year, you may recall, in the bubble, he was a member of the Milwaukee Bucks. Jay referenced this happening just a short drive away from Milwaukee, with the Bucks leading the walkout along with the Raptors. You may remember that back in the summer. Here's Wes Matthews, now Lakers forward, former Bucks forward, on his thoughts upon hearing the news.
It's upsetting as a Wisconsinite. It's upsetting as a human being that justice is injustice, and it's tough, but it can't knock us off the path that we're trying to get to, which is equality and just simply right and wrong. It's humanity. That's all it is.
Jay?
I mean, he nailed it. It's interesting when we have these types of conversations and seeing how the atmosphere has somewhat changed since it originally happened. People didn't want to spare the time to listen to what other people are going through. And, that's the way I try to approach everything is, Zubin, I want to hear about, what your reality is from your ethnic background. I want to hear about my other friends and what they experience. And, I think continuing to try to be empathetic is something that our society is trying to move in that direction. And as long as we continue to do so and listen to one another and stand up for injustice to humanity as people, then I think that's where sports can really play an imperative role, because the platform that all these athletes have, I would be an advocate for them to continue to use it. And people may not like it, but they have the ear of people, because people want to come to sports to get away from reality. When you can inject them with a dose of reality from your perspective, it's a game changer. We need to continue to do it.
If you're not living in reality, then you're not living, though, Jay. And that's
I hear you, brother. But people are so isolated these days because of the pandemic that your reality becomes contorted because you don't have experiences, Key. Like, people aren't around people, so now everybody's in their own little bubble, and they only are talking about things that are applicable to their life,
Well, that's always been the case for the most part. Sure. Not just because we're in a pandemic. People only want to deal with what's around them. But at the same time, you are at home. There are radios, television, they turn it on CNN and Fox and everything else, so I'm sure that they see it. And I'm sure as you're sitting at home and listening and seeing, you can certainly understand and feel how others feel about certain things and the pain that our community is continuously feeling. I mean, for me, seeing stuff like that, it always, it goes back to, I do have kids. I feel myself. It makes me wonder. I'm not afraid of the police at all. I'm going to do everything that they tell me to do. But at the same time, it's just like, what if? Everything comes back to what if. What if somebody's not watching? Or what if something is It was so funny. I was walking, and I didn't even think about this morning. I was walking, I parked where I parked my car, and the police was actually sitting in the parking lot. And I said to myself, I just turned around and looked, Zubin. I just looked at him. It waved. I'm like, I'm getting out of my car. I'm cool. I'm parking. I'm just thinking to myself, though, what if? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. So it just makes you always cautious about your surroundings and about everything that you're doing, and making sure you're doing the right thing so that they have no excuse. Give them no excuse at all. As I like to say, non-threatening. I'm going to dress non-threatening, so I don't give you no damn excuse to do nothing to me.
I will say, lastly, there is a postscript that should be mentioned before we move on, and that is hours before the district attorney, Mike Gravely, announced that there would be no charges filed. Kyle Rittenhouse, who is an 18-year-old teenager from northern Illinois who fatally shot 2 people and wounded a third during protests following the Blake shooting, claimed self-defense and pleaded not guilty to 5 felonies, including multiple homicide charges, during a hearing on Tuesday afternoon. This is why we talk about this stuff. It transcends sports. I know a lot of shows won't do it, but we understand we're here to talk sports with you, but we also understand life is bigger than sports, and when we have to take that on-ramp or that off-ramp and we're ready to talk about it, we are certainly willing to discuss. I appreciate the cathartic, visceral, honest thoughts of both